Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Kwame Sha'Allah, Chocholoyim La Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. Just want to say Tawada to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. And this is Hanan Nawaf. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And just kind of land backing off of video that I seen from one of the elders, GMS Kansas City, and he was going off into this new COVID-19 variant that supposedly it was a surge in China, but they're saying that there's I'm not sure how many cases, but it's a it has reached the U.S. So Scripture says to watch and pray, to be circumspect, measure thou the times diligently in itself, because you just never know with Esau, man. Esau, he'll take something like that and flip it, and next thing you know, everybody locked back down again, And one of the things that stuck out too with the elder and what he was saying, he was talking about faith, because he was saying that he was speaking with his supervisor yesterday, and he was talking about how they didn't want to hire. He said that she said they didn't want to hire you in at first because of you got around the shot. They didn't want to, they didn't want to let you in. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't take that thing, And he was going off into he had faith. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't going to take it anyway. He just had faith that the Lord was going to take care of him. Like we all should be thinking. We all should be thinking the Lord is going to take care of me no matter what. That Isaiah 33:6. The wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. Trusting in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And that's the main thing, because what's coming in the world anyway, what we're coming down the pipe, the shit that's about to happen in this world, you're going to have total faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because you may be a pilgrim out here. You may be, none of us know our lot. We're just praying, that we're part of the hopeful elect, and that the Lord will have mercy on us and give us that spirit of endurance when the time comes for us to endure whatever we have to endure, But I can remember, I ended up getting a religious exemption because I was ready to just quit the damn job. I didn't give a fuck. I wasn't about to, I was listening to the apostles, and just by the Spirit, of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the apostles, they was going into it. It was like, hey, man, you could just get another job. Or whatever the case may be, the Lord is going to take care of you. And my mind was already made up. And everybody at the plantation took that shit. It was one other I don't know if he's an Edomite or not, but I remember him telling me about he had got a religious exemption, but he worked in a whole nother department than me. He's an older guy, which he should be retired anyway, but he was telling me about a whole bunch of guys that got fucked up by taking that. And I think he said some family members of his had passed away. What I can remember, going into the cafeteria every other day or whatever, and it was just like, week to week to week, you see like somebody's obituary on the damn wall. How they'll just post it, letting you know that such and such had died, or such and such had passed away. And I never seen no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen that many people. It was just every other week it was somebody. I was like, okay, well, and it don't hit me. Like my thoughts was, yep, it was that thing that they took. Then I seen this other guy on TV. No, it wasn't on TV. I was going to do a lesson on it. It was like 2 or 3 days ago. And this guy, he was talking about how he had took the jabby, and it just ruined his life, man. He was like, he can't interact with his kids no more. He was like, it was just, within that week of him taking it, it was just like his health just went downhill. And he was, matter of fact, he, I can't think of who this guy, because he married a woman that used to be an actress on TV too. And he's just like, man, I got 4 beautiful children. We used to go vacationing, and we used to go and do all these different things. He's just like, my life is ruined now. So, hey, he went and took that shit, man. Then I seen people in the comment boards of that particular story where it was talking about, they was talking about their family members, or how, matter of fact, themselves was leaving comments of how they got fucked up, and they haven't been the same since they, took that shit, man. So, but we had faith, man, you know, and I ended up getting that religious exemption. And I know this other Edomite, a couple of Edomites that I work with, they've been fucked up since they took it. But the one little Edomite, the woman, she was like, yeah, they made me take it. Like, no, they didn't make you take that shit, you know? Because she was asking, wanted to know why I didn't have to take it. Like, man, I just put in for a religious exemption. You know, and I left it at that, you know? I mean, she's sitting there looking stupid as hell, and they just been sickly ever since, man. I don't even like being around them. For real, I try and avoid them at all costs. But I notice when I do have to deal with them, it's just like they're sickly. They always calling off, fucked up, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, but coming in these last days with what's coming down the pipe, man, we have to really just trust on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. There's plenty of scriptures on trust, especially in the book of Psalms. You know, I like to read the book of Psalms every day anyway. But there's plenty of scriptures that talks about trusting in the Lord, man. Whoever trusts in the Lord, man, and was confounded, roughly paraphrasing. You know? Because the Lord is the one that provides you with everything anyway. You know, even though you may get up and you go to work and you know, you feeling like, okay, you doing this, you doing that, but you wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff if it wasn't for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So he's taking care of you to begin with. So it's not going to be any different if you don't have that particular job, or, you know, he's still going to look out for you. You know what I'm saying? If you have faith in him and trust in him, you know. But again, you know, the things that's about to happen, it's about to be some real serious shit that's about to happen in this planet. And, you know, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. He could use something like this and bring back another lockdown, man. And you got this dude, Robert F. Kennedy, in there now. You know, him and Dr. Oz running the health sections of the government, so to speak. And he was super duper against the you know, these shots. Now he's for a lot of this stuff, you know. Even though he's still against some stuff, but you know, he's all over the place. You know. And ain't no telling what this guy may push out there or what he might say. You know. Because right now he's talking about wearables, well, I'm not sure if he you know, in so many words, implantables or wearables for all American citizens by 2029, I think it is. So you just never know with these people, man. You know what I'm saying? That could be one of the ways of them trying to actually implement that MOTB. Because they want to put something inside the people now where, okay, well, we'll know your temperature at all times. We can just link your ass up with the computer. It can tell us exactly what's going on with you right now. Or hell, you don't even have to come into a doctor's office. Your damn chip give them an alert. And next thing you know, damn squad cars and ambulances at your door. They quarantining your ass. You just never know what these people, man. They pulling up on you. You wondering what's going on. They throwing you in the back of a van. Like, you know, we got a notification that you have such and such and such. You just never know what Esau, man. And so I'm just riding on right now. I was, you know, a little riding and talk. I was listening to the elders video, and you know, that faith, you know, part just stuck out to me. Because he you know, it just made me think about me getting a religious exemption as well. You know, because he was like, his supervisor was like, no, they didn't want to hire you in because you know, and just people just fucked up around. Matter of fact, he actually said the same thing, that, you know, if people that pretty much took that shit, you know, once he get around them, he would feel a little dizzy and stuff like that, you know, or he would feel, you know, a little off. And I kind of noticed that too. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm around certain, that's why I kind of just chill to myself when I'm at the plantation as much as I can. You know? Because that shit they took, ain't no telling what you know, they breathing all on you and shit. You know, you all up and close and personal and shit, and they all in the vehicle with you. You know, I try and just stay the fuck away from them because, like I said, they always sickly. And they never used to be like that before, you know? And I guess it dawned on the one older Edomite where he was like, oh, well, yeah, you know, I took, but I'm done. I'm not taking any of the boosters. I'm like, yeah, you already fucked up, you know? no Esau, man. They don't have no super duper faith like that. And if you know, the so-called white people that kind of went against it, that, you know, kind of somewhat believe, or they believe that they believe, because they actually believe in a damn idol. You know, you had a certain percentage of so-called white people that was like, fuck that, I'm not taking this shit. You know, and they was, you know, going for religious exemptions as well. And Biden was sticking the screws, man. He was putting the screws to people, man. A lot of people was in fear of losing their jobs. And again, that's where that faith comes in at, man. That's the reason why a lot of people went in, you know, and got jugged up. A lot of Jake went out and got jugged up because they didn't want to lose their jobs, man. You know, I remember you had the leader of IUIC, Bishop Nathaniel. I can remember that video. It was, you know, a so-called nurse or a lady was asking about it. Should she take it? You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. And, you know, you had shit, ISUPK. Hell, General Yohana was talking about here. He was taking 2 or 3 of them, some crazy shit. You know, like, you think God cares if you take, you know. Just all over the place, man, with these guys, man. So you have to be careful with some of these camps, man, because a lot of them paid off. They're just doing the devil's bidding, so to speak, you know, and just don't really care about the flock. Because if you cared about the flock, you would be telling them, hell no, don't take that shit. You make a way, you know what I'm saying? You better have some faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai, you know. Supposed to be letting Esau prick your damn skin. That goes against the law. He getting all underneath your skin. He's all in your damn vein, pumping some shit into you that you don't even know about. You know, because this man done weaponized everything, and the scripture says, don't, you know, never trust thine enemy. So why would you even trust somebody like that, man? And then when they straight came at Jake, you know, when they was talking about how you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans was disproportionately affected by this disease, they was trying to throw y'all asses the jabby first. You had one Edomite talking about, well, just look at it as reparations. We know that we've done you bad throughout time, but just look at it as reparations, that we're trying to help you out first with this jabby. And then all those stories started to come out, you know what I'm saying, about how, you know, basically Esau be testing shit on Jake. And Jake was like, hell nah, man, we good. We don't want nothing to do with that shit. We straight. Not putting that in me. You know? So a lot of Jake didn't take that shit. But, like, you know, my neighbors, though. As a matter of fact, one of my neighbors fucked up right now. She used to be a lively woman. Super lively. Out cussing every goddamn body out. Now they getting her, you know, they have to literally pick her ass up and help her in and out of the car to go to her doctor's appointments and stuff like that. And I know they took that shit, you know. One of my neighbors, you know, he's a younger Jake. He's like, fuck that. He ended up not taking it. But then again, hell, he probably did. Who knows? You know, he got some kids and shit, you know, and you know, Jake had those decent jobs, you know, working at those plants, making a decent hourly wage. You know, Jake, they going for it, you know, because they trying to keep that money flow coming. You think Jake is about to give up a $50 an hour job, $25 an hour job, you know, 30, you know, overtime and all that shit like that? Jake like, nah, fuck it. Let me go ahead and, you know, cave on in. So a lot of Jake, yeah, they went out and took that shit, man, because of those jobs, man. Because they didn't have no faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai. I remember my sister calling me. She's, I don't know if she ever took it or not. I never did even kick it back with her on it. But there was a few people that was asking me about a religious exemption, or, you know, so, you know, my mom called me one day, like, you know, your sister, she wants to know, because they know I'm into the scriptures and stuff. She wants to know, you know, some Bible scriptures and stuff like that, because she's trying to get a religious exemption herself. And I shot him some, all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Just pulled up on his car, 1044. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai. But yep, I sent her a few, you know, the scriptures. Actually, I sent her the ones that I use with mine. But I don't know if it actually went through, you know what I'm saying? Because, hey, if the Lord wanted you to take that shit, you was going to take it. Because a lot of people was all of a sudden like, nigga, you wicked as hell. You wicked every damn day. Now all of a sudden you want to use the Bible. You want to, use the scriptures to try and get, because, Jake initially, they know that shit is not right. Jake, a lot of Jake like, nah, something not right about that shit in the spirit. But, and not to say that she's not, because I know she's like one of those Yah Israelites, and she would always be saying Yah and all, So she has some knowledge of the Bible, and I still don't know if that shit, I ain't never did kick it with her about it again, because I don't know if she actually was successful with that exemption. But I know she's still working where she was working, because she's like a on the road nurse, and in a lot of cases they wasn't letting a lot of those people get those religious exemptions like that. You had to really just overall just quit that job overall. So by her still working there, hell, she could have took it, but I don't know. But I'm pretty much pulling up at my little location here. I just wanted to just touch on a little quick lesson and stuff like that. I didn't even go through all the chat GPT hookup on here. I just wanted to just kind of see, Okay, so the World Health Organization classifies it as a variant under monitoring. So they're doing, I guess they're just waiting to see or whatever. It has mutations in the spike protein that make it more transmissible. See? So it says, but so far it doesn't appear to cause more severe illness than earlier strains. So you just never know with these people, man. Because they can easily, I mean, they're this guy, he done weaponized the media. He's in control of information. All he has to do is say this, and it's, even though you may go against it and everybody is saying, nope, you're lying. Because there was a lot of doctors, man, that lost their careers that was coming out against that shit back then, man. They got blackballed, they got canceled and shit. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Fauci telling you everything that everybody was saying, was all of a sudden true now. And they never did arrest this guy. They should have threw that motherfucker in jail, man. Yeah, but a lot of doctors, man, lost them jobs. And they telling you, like, look, I'm a professional. I specialize in these in this stuff. But it was the government basically saying, well, hey, this is what the fuck you gonna say right now. And anybody saying anything against it, we coming after your ass. And that's why a lot of brothers, I know I don't even know how many YouTube channels. At least 6 or 7 of them. That's why I have like 4 YouTube channels right now. I still use them, you know what I'm saying? But I always, we just had no choice but to keep a backup. Because you just never knew when Esau was going to clip your shit. Because he was clipping everybody YouTube channels, man. Because we was warning the flock. We was warning. So, just like right now, you know what I'm saying? It's just a quick little warning. We don't know where it's going to go. I don't know. I'm just saying, it could be some shit that's just being spoken of. And next thing you know, it's forgotten about. But you just never know with Esau, man. And the scripture says to never trust thine enemy. So we always want to give a heads up when we seeing little stuff like this. But, hey, if it straight comes down to it, look, we not taking shit, That's a lot. Damn, I could have got this spot up here. Yeah, man, have faith in H.I.M shot, man. If it comes straight down to, you should be prepared to just walk away from a damn job at the drop of a dime. Any point in the game when they talking about, you having to do some shit like that to work for them. And damn, that wasn't even a spot open. It's a lot. But yeah, man, for a couple of damn dollars an hour. Like, motherfucker, $1,000 an hour not worth that shit. $20 million a damn hour is not worth these people putting some bullshit in you, man. Because we're about the daily bread. Trusting H.I.M shot for your daily bread, man. And I was watching another video from the elder out in New York. And he was doing a video on this so-called black woman telling her daughter, I think it was her daughter or her son, that no, you can't go get no job. You gonna mess up my Section 8. You gonna mess up my food stamps. Like this motherfucker is, becoming of age to work. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to keep this motherfucker from doing what he's supposed to do or she supposed to do because you're about to lose your damn food stamps. You're Section 8 and shit like that. Get up off your ass and go get a real job. But she was basically saying that the government, takes care of them and the government is a tool for them. And and what the brother was going into with somebody with that kind of attitude, they're going to take that chip. They're going to take that shit. She's going to take that shit. If it comes straight down to continuing on getting free food stamps and Section 8 and shit like that, she's going with the kids and she's going to do exactly what Esau tells her to do. We're going to need to put a chip in your damn foot, your hand, your ass cheek. It ain't going to make no difference what they trying to do. If they got a cut her damn stomach open and stuff went into her damn gut, she wouldn't care. She going to go and do that shit, man. Whatever Esau got planned. So I'm going to end out there. I'm at my location. I just seen this and, Oh, man. Okay, but anyway, yeah. There's something you can look into. The new variant is called Nimbus. So check into it, man. So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Kwame Yasha Allah and a Baba Ball.